So we've all heard about the mind-body connection. And I think it's becoming more mainstream now, and people are starting to understand it more, that the way that you think influences the way that you feel and how your body functions. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that on this episode. But I also think it's important to understand as well that there's certain instances where your body can also influence and affect your mind. Now, there's two ways that we can start talking about that, actually. There's the way that your body influences your thinking, and then there's also a way that your body just influences your brain in terms of like homeostasis. So just at a basic level about what you eat, your nervous system, there's a huge plexus of your nervous system actually in your gut. And your gut and your heart actually send more signals up to the brain than your brain sends down to the gut and the heart, which is crazy. So it's really important to watch what you eat. And I think that's why also people can have reactions to things that they eat. Sometimes when I eat something or eat too much sugar, I'll notice that I'll get more anxious that day because it's my body telling my brain like, yo, what's going on? And then I think the more powerful one, or the more insidious one, because everyone can kind of wrap their head around that one. But in terms of the body affecting the mind, if we understand that the body is the subconscious mind, then sometimes we can be addicted to feeling a certain way because we had a very strong event in our life that caused us to feel a certain emotion, and our body locked on to the feeling of that emotion. So in my life, for example, I used to have a lot of anxiety and feel very anxious over certain things for a period of a really long time, like a few years. And so now that I've worked through that, I'll notice that there's specific times when I'll start thinking anxious thoughts, but I didn't consciously start thinking about them. It's like my body was sending signals to my mind so that my mind will create a picture of something that will cause me to feel anxiety. And then when I feel that anxiety, it's my brain releasing certain chemicals and hormones into my body so that I can feel it. So it's almost as if my body is influencing my mind to feel a certain way. And I think that's the connection that a lot of people don't realize is happening. But it's very
Absolutely.
powerful. Yeah.
That's, super powerful beginning to this episode, because once you understand that, then you have the opportunity to change. Because like when you have those anxious thoughts that like just seemingly come out of nowhere, if we're not aware, like if you're not aware, then it's just like you're on your autopilot. And so those thoughts just generate more of a feeling, and then the body gets that feeling which it craves, like you said.
Yeah.
Which I know you're reading or have read, if you have finished it already, Joe Dispenza's book. I don't remember which one it was that described that, but that blew my mind. Like, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like you understand it as truth when you hear it. But then, okay, what do we do about it? And then I come back, like when I think about that, I come back to just like the spiritual tool of noticing what you're noticing. Because that's, I use the phrase or the word detach when I talk about this, like you're detaching from your thoughts and your body. It's not to say that like you're like denouncing them and like you're not being like, you're not like being a part of them anymore, but you're not letting them influence you. As in like, you're not letting your thoughts or your emotions drive your decisions.
You're denying the power they have over you.
Exactly.
Because you're not actually them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like many people know this. Many people listening to this podcast probably have that in mind, but then it's the actual practical application of that in the moment that you're in, to notice the thoughts. Like if it's a fear thought or a worry thought or an anxious thought, some thought that or feeling that you don't want to feel or think, then to recognize, and it's like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm the spirit who controls this body and mind. So therefore, I'm going to choose differently when that's difficult in the moment. So that's a whole, just like a,
I want to like latch on to that part when you said it's difficult in the moment.
Yeah.
And I didn't truly understand what I was reading in Joe Dispenza's book until it happened to me last week, where I started to feel anxious, and I felt like it started in my body. But with this new awareness, I felt like it started in my body, and then I started thinking anxious thoughts. And so I did what we were just talking about. I stopped and I was noticing what I was noticing, and I was like, yo, I'm thinking anxious thoughts right now. And then I noticed when I tried to shift my attention, like shift my thoughts over to something else that was more life-giving, there was a very strong pull to go back to the anxious thoughts.
Mm.
And then I noticed, I was like, yo, my body is influencing me right now because it's so addicted to feeling that way. And then I can get into like a spiral because even though I'm not that super anxious person anymore, I spend so much time, so much of like my adult life in that feeling that there's still that chemical residue on every single cell of my body. And sometimes when they get a taste of that, almost like a person addicted to a drug, they're like, I want that again. And
Yo,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to pause and just like
Yeah.
dial into the science a bit on that,
Yeah.
because this is super powerful, because you said like there's this chemical residue. It kind of sounds like out there. I was like, oh, it's not really real, but
Hmm.
it's like an actual, like, you could study this. Scientists have studied this, that like your body does crave those emotions. There are receptors.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they are. There are receptors. It's like probably the one out of like the 5 times I've used my pharmacy like knowledge from my school to like anything. But yeah, like there's literally receptors on the cells in your body waiting for those emotions. Just like this is true. Like we all can understand and relate to this, that the more caffeine you drink, the more receptors are going to be there for that caffeine molecule.
It's like my whole body's a caffeine receptor.
Exactly. That's why it took so long for me to get off of caffeine, because I didn't want it anymore. Like it just wasn't serving me and for my health. Like for me, it was like a health related thing. I needed to get off caffeine if
Hmm.
I wanted to heal my body. So like it was really strong, but it was only because of those receptors that are still
Yeah.
on there. But the
Yeah.
truth is that you know, like like just detach, or you don't allow that to happen, and you don't generate that emotion, like you were saying, like you just notice what you're noticing shifting away, then it's difficult. But the truth is you can absolutely change. Like your body will change. Those receptors will dissolve. Like your body's so efficient that they will literally dissolve the receptors that aren't used over
Mhm.
time. But
Yeah.
it takes some time. It takes weeks.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to like really pinpoint that, because like it
Yeah.
was really awesome you said that. It's like a chemical residue. Like
Yeah.
it's real. Like that shit's real.
And you could even get into like the deeper science of how like the environment actually signals like your genes and your gene expression,
Mm,
because it was the environment that I was in, that anxious environment, that my body was responding to.
mm,
So you think about how the way I was responding to my environment literally changed the way that my cells functioned.
that's
So
deep.
when you yeah, so when you start thinking about that, then you can also turn it into a positive and be like, the way that you view and the way that you interact with the environment through your nervous system affects the physical functioning of your body. So if you perceive everything in your life as good and as for you and as happy and as for your growth, it's not just your brain that gets restructured and reorganized to start like seeing opportunities and seeing the world that way. Your cells also start to express different genes that that are life-giving. Like you literally change the way that your body starts to function based on how you interact with the environment. And I think that's pretty crazy.
Dude, that is amazing. Like we're
Yeah.
literally changing. Like, I was just talking about this or thinking about this the other day, that our body, like our cells literally rejuvenate. I think you probably know the exact number. Like how is it, like once a year, like all of our
Oh, it's
cells
like
are completely
11
new.
months.
11 months.
We're
Yeah.
like a new person. Yeah.
Completely new. So
Yeah.
like thinking about that, it's like, holy shit. Like now we know that our brain is neuroplastic, that our neurons, like they can change like connections. Not only that, but they also like they're new as well once a year. Like we literally can become a different person a year from now.
Yeah.
Like completely different. That is
100%.
inspiring. Like
Like
I'm inspired right now by our episode.
down to every single cell of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And then if like so Joe Dispenza talks about this as well, and he talks about how the environment signals the genes. So and then he talks about how the end product of an experience in the environment is an emotion. So
Mm,
like literally your emotions have a profound effect on your gene expression and how your cells function. Because you're not like you're Kevin. Like I see that you're you, but if I didn't see you for 12 months, you'd be a completely different being, like by like physical matter, but I'd still know it's you.
mm-hmm,
Because there's an energy that's structuring the way that the cells are dividing, and over
mm-hmm,
and over again that makes me realize that it's you. There's this energy around it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we can influence that, like with our emotions and how we feel. It's like pretty crazy. Yeah.
So let's bring this in for a landing. What are some, like, I mean, I'm buzzing right now. Like I said, I'm like inspired. Like I'm ready to take action and like conquer the world. Like,
Yeah.
what would you suggest as like an action step to take forward from this? Because it can be very heady.
Well, I kind of want to touch it back down to vision. I mean,
Okay.
for people who didn't listen to the vision episode, you should go listen to that. But so for my example, like there's that very strong chemical and emotional residue of anxiety, right? Because I had such a strong emotional reaction to the way that I was feeling, so that my body now like subconsciously craves that emotion. And again, over time, it's gotten less and less, and I've noticed that it's gotten less and less. But in order like to really kick start and like kick that out, I can dream up like vision and even stronger emotional experience that I want to have, so that my cells can start craving that emotional experience rather than the anxiety that it's currently like emotionally craving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that like that's where the power of vision can kind of come in again as well, because in the absence of that, like my body is going to continue to be the same thing over and over again, because I'm feeding it the same thoughts, and then those thoughts are generating similar emotions, and so my body's not really changing that much. But if I can think of a future that I really want, and I can change my like neural circuitry, and then I can change the emotions that I feel on a consistent daily basis, I can change what my body craves from like a chemical perspective. So that's like what I'm working on now, and what like the main thing that I'm working on, and kind of getting more specific with my vision, and like meditating more, and really like disconnecting from who I think that I am, and starting to think thoughts and feel emotions that I actually want to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's powerful. So what I got from that as an action step is go listen to that other episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we go pretty deep into like the power of the vision, and how to actually write it, and just overcoming some of the normal, very normal reasons why people don't actually write out a vision. So definitely go listen to that, take action on that. And there's actually, to give you an incentive to listen to that episode, is at the end, I gave away a gift.
Word.
A gift.
Pretty valuable gift.
A gift. I don't know. I just said that weird way. I just want to say it again.
Yeah. You said it 3 times?
One more time. A gift. Okay. Yeah, we need that one. Oh shit, someone's calling me. Scam. I hate those calls, man. Anyway, send this up. Wait, what?
Watch it be mom.
Yeah, no, it wasn't mom. It literally was a scam. Like it said, my phone said scam likely.
Oh, really? Dope.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's end it there. We'll talk to you with you all in the next episode. Peace. That's it for today. So thanks for tuning in, and we really hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. So any questions, any comments, just connect with us on Instagram. You could always DM us at Kevin Francis Carton
and at Chris J. Carton. And also, if you feel guided to, the one thing we do ask is for you to please rate the podcast and leave us a review. This way we can reach more people and impact more lives with this amazing information. With that, we'll see you on the next episode.